Good evening, Captain Langlois. It's an honor to have you speak with us today. We've understand you've had a distinguished Coast Guard career. We've also heard you're an All-American rower who led the crew team to a national championship and beat the Olympic rowing team twice and went on to have an incredible career in the Coast Guard. So I just wanted some opening remarks and what was your mindset coming into the academy?
Oh, thank you, Scott. Appreciate you asking me to be part of this panel today. You are distinguished young people that have already achieved quite a lot in your life. And as I look back to when I walked into the academy back in 1972, all I can tell you is I had no idea what to expect in the future. I came in expecting to be a oceanography major and ended up a civil engineer. I did get involved in the rowing team, and I encouraged everybody to be involved in some kind of activity while you're at the academy, other than just academics, as life goes by a lot better for you when you're involved in a group organization. I chose rowing, and I dedicated much of my time to rowing. Unfortunately, it got in the way of my academics, particularly my sophomore year, third class year, and I ended up being on academic probation my second class full semester. But that really taught me to rebalance my efforts and study differently. And so I did struggle with academics and ended up 10 from the bottom of the class, but I did graduate. I was pretty proud of that, whereas a lot of my classmates did not finish. And so I look at that as a success story. And off I went into the real Coast Guard on a ship and started my career.
All right, thank you, Captain. So, Captain, you were a member of class of 76, so the last all-male class to graduate from the academy. What was your take on how much the Coast Guard has improved because of diversity since you initially commissioned?
Yeah, it was quite a change. I did get involved with setting personnel policy in many of my assignments at headquarters and the Military Personnel Command, policies that were instrumental in allowing women to serve, and especially at sea, and become more involved operationally than they had been. We had to set quite a few policies with berthing and co-location assignments to become easier on them so that their families could live together and stay in the Coast Guard. We were interested in retention and not breaking up families. And so I think the Coast Guard became a much better place, but like anything, there's difficulties with change, and I think we've resolved most of them. And there's always more to work on, but I think we've come quite a long way since the days when I left the Coast Guard Academy. Thank you.
So, Captain, you've accomplished so many feats in your lifetime. You even won the Legion of Merit, and you've won many more distinguished awards. In your opinion, what do you believe is your greatest accomplishment?
Yeah, that's kind of a difficult one to talk about. In 30 years, many things have happened operationally and with my staff work, which I consider to be significant. Some were quite thrilling, rescues at night and severe weather. Sometimes it was just places we've been and things we've done. But I think, to answer the question, my greatest accomplishment, if there was any, was working fairly with people and treating them with respect throughout my career. And you know, whether they're enlisted or officer or junior rank or senior rank or woman or male, it doesn't matter. Treating everybody around you with respect so that it becomes teamwork and good morale and harmony in the workplace. That to me was very important. I did change some policies to favor enlisted people in a way that was closer to the officer corps. The enlisted workforce, as far as assignments went, when I came into enlisted personnel, was rather harsh. When they were advanced or promoted, they often were immediately transferred, even if they had been at their assignment for less than 1 year. And it was disrupting family life and ruining morale and causing retention problems. And we sorted that out with some major differences in personnel policy to give them longer tour lengths and not necessarily relocate immediately if they were promoted. So I think that may have been one of the better or more important accomplishments I had during my career. Thanks.
Definitely, Captain. It's always good to look out for your enlisted. Final question, Captain, just to wrap it up. So, you received news about being diagnosed with amyloidosis, and you were told that you had a short period left to live, and then you later became the quadruple amputee. For a person that has faced so many obstacles yourself, what would you have to say to a person who is facing adversity?
Thank you for that. I did experience a major health crisis about 9 years ago, about 4 years after I retired, and I came down with a rare blood disease called amyloidosis. I was told after I realized what I had by a cardiologist that I would not survive more than 2 months if I did not have a heart transplant. I later had a heart transplant, a stem cell transplant, and went through 6 years of chemotherapy. I lost my spleen. I had other surgeries along the way, and ultimately I went into septic shock 3 years ago, and that resulted in quadruple amputation of my hands and my lower legs. I wasn't supposed to survive through any of it. It's a rare disease and there's no cure. And all these surgeries caused, great distress and recovery and rehabilitation and hospitalization. I guess to answer your question, I have a desire to stay alive and a fighting spirit. And I always tell people, never give up. Even when the chips are down, keep trying to find a solution to your problems, and don't be a quitter, and have faith in the people around you and your support system and your loved ones and your friends. And in my case, my classmates were, even though it's been a long time since I was at the academy, I still have a very close relationship with my academy classmates. I consider them the best friends of my life. And to this day, they still are very close to me and give me tremendous uplift and spirit. And so that really is beneficial for me. My family and my friends nearby in California, having that academy background and the friends you'll make in your life. Look around you right now, and in 30 or 40 or 50 years, those people will still be the ones that are your friends. And so it's going to be a great adventure for all of you as you go out into the Coast Guard and make your way in your careers. And I wish you all good luck.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Captain, for joining us tonight. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. You've had a very distinguished career, and it was an honor having you.
My pleasure. Semper Paratus.